I told my fiancé I needed space. His reaction scared me. I didn't think asking for space would turn into the most terrifying night of my life. When I told my fiancé I needed a few days to clear my head, I expected an argument, maybe tears, maybe guilt. What I didn't expect was the look in his eyes. We'd been together for 4 years, engaged for 8 months from the outside. We looked solid, stable jobs, wedding venue booked, save the dates already sent. My friends called him dependable. My mom said I'd found a good, steady man, and for a long time I believed that too. But somewhere along the way, things shifted. It started small. He didn't like when I went out with coworkers after work. He'd say he just missed me. If I didn't respond to a text within an hour, he'd send 3 more. Then he started asking for my location just in case something happens. At first I thought it was sweet. Then it became expected. If I turned it off, he'd ask why. If I stayed late at the office, he'd ask who I was really with. If I wore something slightly dressy, he'd ask who I was trying to impress. None of it was explosive. No screaming, no broken plates, just this steady tightening around my life. I stopped seeing friends as much. It felt easier than answering questions later. I stopped posting on social media because he'd analyze every comment. I even changed my gym schedule. Because he didn't like me going at night, I kept telling myself he just loves me. He's protective, he cares. But caring shouldn't feel like shrinking. 2 weeks ago, I finally admitted to myself that I felt trapped. There wasn't a huge fight. No dramatic betrayal, just a slow, suffocating realization that I didn't recognize myself anymore. So last Friday after dinner, I told him I think I need some space. I said carefully, just a few days to think. The air in the room changed instantly. He didn't yell. He didn't argue. He just stared at me and smiled. Not a warm smile, not a reassuring one. It was tight controlled, like he was calculating something. Space, he repeated calmly. From your fiancé. My stomach dropped. I just need time to clear my head. I said it's not about anyone else. I just feel overwhelmed. He leaned back in his chair and folded his hands. You're overwhelmed because people are in your ear. Your friends don't like me. Your coworkers don't respect our relationship. That's the problem. That wasn't true, but I didn't argue. I'm staying at my sister for a few days. I added, that's when his jaw tightened. You're not leaving, he said quietly. I actually laughed at first because I thought he was joking. He was, you're not leaving me when we're this close to the wedding. He continued, you don't get to just walk away. I'm not walking away, I said, my voice shaking. I'm taking space. He stood up slowly and walked toward the front door. Then he locked it deadbolt, loud click. I felt my heart start pounding in my ears. What are you doing? I asked. Calm down, he said. You're emotional. You don't mean this. I moved toward the door, but he stepped in front of it. I had never been afraid of him before. That changed in that moment. He didn't touch me. He didn't raise his voice, but he blocked the exit. You're not thinking clearly. He said, you're stressed. You need sleep tomorrow. You'll feel different. I want to leave, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. You're not leaving, he repeated. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold my phone. I texted my sister one word. Call me, she called immediately. I answered on speaker. Hey, she said casually. I'm outside. But she knew. I said, oh, already okay? He looked at me confused. My sister here, I said, move. He hesitated. That split second was all I needed. I walked past him, unlocked the door, and stepped outside. My sister wasn't actually there, but I got in my car and drove straight to her place. He called me 17 times that night. He sent messages ranging from, I'm sorry to you're ruining everything, to if you leave, don't bother coming back the next morning. He showed up at my sister's apartment. He didn't knock aggressively. He just stood outside staring at the building. That's when I realized something that made my skin crawl. He didn't love me. He needed control. And the second he felt it slipping, he panicked. I ended the engagement that day. He cried, begged, promised therapy, promised change, but I couldn't unsee that locked door. I couldn't unfill that moment when I realized the man I was supposed to marry thought he had the right to decide whether I could leave. It's been a week. I've blocked his number. My family knows everything. My friends admitted they'd been worried, but didn't know how to say it. And the strangest part, I can breathe again. I didn't realize how heavy everything felt until it wasn't there anymore. I keep replaying that night in my head. If my sister hadn't picked up immediately, if I hadn't trusted my gut, if I'd convinced myself I was overreacting, I don't know how different things would be right now. All I know is this. When someone reacts to your need for space by trying to trap you, that's not love. That's a warning. And I'm grateful I listened to it before walking down the aisle. Ending engagement lines for comment section. Have you ever ignored red flags because things weren't that bad? Would you have left that night or stayed to try and fix it? Do you think people like this can actually change? Or was ending it the only safe choice? I'm reading every comment. Let me know what you think.